I have never tried this recipe before. I found it in my stash of recipes to try, and it's called cast iron chicken. And I started out taking photos and then I transferred to taking videos. So I'm just doing a voiceover. So first I made this rub using a tablespoon of onion powder, garlic powder. I used regular salt, although this called for sea salt, paprika, and black pepper. Now, their recipe calls for 4 to 6 chicken thighs. I only had 4 drumsticks. And their recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of onion powder and 2 tablespoons of sea salt. But I just used 1 of everything. I found it a little bit too much spice. I might have cut back maybe on the black pepper, and I'm sure the salt maybe made it tender. Now I did rub it all over the chicken, and I did leave it on the counter most of the day because the chicken was frozen straight out of the oven. I had used some hot water to get it to separate, and the directions say you could leave it on at least an hour, or you could leave it on in the refrigerator. But it did say to make sure your chicken was room temperature, not refrigerator temperature, before you started. And I found it was very delicious. Need to tweak the seasonings to my liking, but the chicken was very tender and very good. And so I decided to go ahead and share this with you. I have never made these before, but they've been sitting there with the rub on them. And I'm going to put my cast iron pot in the oven for 10 or 15 minutes. These are called cast iron chicken. So hot pan out of the oven. It said 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter, but I went ahead and used a half a stick. And your favorite herb. This is lemon thyme from my garden. Check that out. It's like a 2020. It's almost, what, a year and a half old. Still nice and green. Oh man, that lemon thyme smells good. It just said put your favorite herb in there. I'm gonna go ahead and scoot this around and try to encourage it to melt and spread around. Sizzling out of the oven. Now I'm supposed to turn it over. Probably dredge it through all that butter. I'm telling you, that lemon thyme smelled so good. And then put it back in the oven. It said for another 15 or 20 minutes. Ooh, that looks so good. Wonderful. Dinner's on.